Welcome everyone to my channel. Super happy and excited to have you here today. If this is your first time tuning into my channel and you don't yet know who I am, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic soul alignment coach, and what I do is I work with spiritual entrepreneurs to help them to create their highest level of success, influence, impact, and income. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to follow me. I also help spiritual people to really just create the lives that they desire. And I do this through teaching my clients how to do very deep levels of healing necessary to bring themselves into alignment with who they truly are and their true power so that they're able to create or manifest what they truly want in life. Now, every Friday, I do a live video teaching here on YouTube, but this week I am doing a chakra series, apparently, as I was guided by my spirit guides. So every day this week, I will be talking about the different chakras and how to recognize if you have chakra imbalances inside of you. So today I'm going to be discussing the solar plexus chakra, but I have already done videos on the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and I also did a chakra overview a few years ago. So those videos will be in the card section up here somewhere for you to click on, and you can go watch that now or watch that after this video. I really suggest that you look at that chakra overview video just to have an understanding of the chakras if you're totally new to them. And otherwise, you can just go ahead and see the other videos that I will be doing, and you can join me tomorrow as well for the video on the heart chakra. I don't have a specific time for showing up. So that's why I suggest that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell button and turn your notifications to see all notifications. That way you get notified of when I come on live if you want to catch me live. And if you don't want to miss any of my video teachings that I do here live or that I upload, because yeah, sometimes you don't get those notifications even if you are subscribed. So that's why it's really important to hit that bell button and hit see all so that you never miss anything. Cool. So hopefully my hair will stay okay during this video, because sometimes after I do my videos, my hair is like all over the place and I don't notice. But anyway, today I'm discussing the solar plexus chakra. Okay, and signs that your solar plexus chakra is blocked or signs that it is imbalanced. Okay, so again, this is another energy center here in our body, and it's usually right above the navel area. So it's like, I don't know if I can stand up, but it's like right here somewhere. And it's right above the navel. And the solar plexus chakra is the part of us that really represents our personal power, okay? It is the center that is responsible for the core of our personality, because it is at our core. So it really represents our core sense of identity, of our self-esteem, our confidence, our ego, you know. It really represents this personal power, the willpower to do things, the discipline to do things, our ability to take action on things, our ability to face challenges, to create transformation in our lives, to be independent, to make decisions. So this is what our solar plexus chakra is responsible for, okay, to do all of these things. Now, when your solar plexus chakra is overreactive, so it's like moving too much, it's like there's too much fire there going on in your solar plexus, then when that happens, then this will often manifest as you being very reactive emotionally to things, so having these outbursts. And by the way, because I've been doing these videos on the different chakras, I want you to know and understand that sometimes these chakra centers and how the symptoms manifest overlap, because it's all interconnected. It's not like, oh, this is just this and no other chakras are responsible for this or whatever, okay? They're all interconnected on some level. So sometimes there will be overlap in the signs between the different chakras when they're imbalanced and or they're imbalanced in some kind of way. So for example, yesterday that I spoke on the sacral chakra, I shared how the sacral chakra is that emotional center. It's very connected to your emotional body. So when you're imbalanced in your sacral, you can have fluctuations with your emotions. Your emotions can be all over the place. You can be very reactive, but the same can be said for your solar plexus as well, because your solar plexus has that fire. It's, located in this center part of our body, which is where our stomach is, our intestines are, where our digestion happens. And so if you think about digestion, and your body creating acids and things, to creating that fire to break down the food and process it to send it everywhere, right? That's that fire center. So when this chakra is overreactive, there's that extra fire, right? That can cause a tendency to have these outbursts, these emotional outbursts, to be super reactive to things, right? So that is how it can manifest when it's overreactive. And it's connected to emotions because, again, they kind of overlap. So this emotional outburst reactivity can happen because of a solar plexus chakra imbalance, but that can also be highly indicative of imbalances in your sacral chakra as well, as they have similar symptoms. Okay. Hope that made sense. Let me know if it did in the comments below. Thank you. So your solar plexus chakra, when it's overreactive, again, you have the emotional outburst. You also can be very impulsive, because remember that the solar plexus is very much connected to your ability to take action on things, to make decisions on things, right? To exercise your personal power. So when it's overreactive, you can be very impulsive and do things. I used to have a partner that would just be very impulsive when they would buy things, they just loved buying gadgets and technology and all that kind of stuff. So they were very impulsive spenders. So if you're very impulsive when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to spending, when it comes to making big decisions, right? There's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with being impulsive sometimes in that sense, because you really have to discern whether it's that excessive impulsiveness that's harming you, or whether it's intuition and you're intuitively knowing that's it for you and you're very good at making that decision to move forward, right? So you really have to discern, is it impulsivity, if that's a word, because I don't know if I just made that up, or is it your intuition and you being so connected that you know this is for you and you move forward with it, right? But what I'm talking about in this case, when your solar plexus is overreactive, I'm talking about impulsivity in that negative sense, where you're doing things that harm you. So you're going gambling and you keep spending money when you're like running low and you should really stop, but you're just going because you're just like, no, I got to do it. You're impulsive, right? Or when you decide to, just all of a sudden go and buy this stuff where maybe you are not in a position to just really buy those things like that, right? Who knows? So it can manifest in so many different ways. So you have to be mindful of that, okay? This is how it can manifest when your solar plexus is overreactive. Other ways that it can manifest inside of you when your solar plexus is overreactive is you have these very controlling tendencies. You're very domineering, right? And we probably have all at one point either seen someone in person or on a show or something that's very domineering, that's always controlling, right? What came to my mind when I was thinking about this was domineering, like, what is it? In-laws or parents or spouses or something like that, right? You're very controlling and domineering. You're trying to exercise your will, because again, this is the center that is responsible for our willpower, our personal power, discipline. And so when you have this extra fire here, when it's overreactive, you try to oftentimes control things, right? To dominate other people. Now, I also mentioned in my last video on the sacral chakra how your sacral chakra, when it's imbalanced, this can often manifest in a sense of wanting to control things, okay? But when it comes to sacral chakra imbalances and needing to control in that sense, quite often you're trying to control from a place of insecurity because you don't know your worth, because you're afraid of being hurt, because of this kind of stuff. You're trying to control from a place of insecurity to protect yourself. Whereas the solar plexus is more about controlling, to exert your will, to let people know that you're the boss, to, let people know you run this, basically. And that just to keep them in their place, to keep them where they're at. It's different. It's a different type of controlling, right? So again, these kinds of things like overlap, but they're a little bit different. Okay. So I hope that made sense. Let me know if it made sense in the comments. I appreciate you guys. So when your solar plexus chakra is also still overreactive, again, with the domineering aspect, you can be a bully, right? So a lot of times when we see people bullying others online, in person, at school, that's because oftentimes they have imbalances in that solar plexus chakra. And it's connected to other chakras as well on some level, for sure. But it's highly indicative that they have imbalances in their solar plexus, okay? And so when a person is a bully, yes, that's them trying to exert their will and their control over other people, but that can also be very much connected to their root chakra, because your root chakra is responsible for your sense of safety. And if you were made to feel unsafe in your environment from a young age, especially, then sometimes that will manifest in further imbalances along your other chakras. And when it gets to like your solar plexus, that causes you to be a bully and to dominate other people in order to feel safe. Do you see how they're interconnected now? So this is, you know, how it can manifest. Okay. I hope that's making sense for you guys. And one thing I want to mention is that the solar plexus chakra really starts kind of being activated and developing from the time that maybe you're about like 2 years old or a year and a half old to about maybe 4 years old. Okay. So that's when it really starts being activated, because as I said, your root chakra, the first chakra, your base chakra, right? That is developed when you're in utero, when you're in the womb, and when you're first born, the first few months of you being alive, because your root chakra is responsible for your sense of safety, of well-being, of survival, right? So when you're a tiny newborn baby, you're depending on these people to take care of you and look after you, right? Then when you kind of keep going along in your human journey and you get older, you move on to the next chakra, which is your sacral. And that's about connecting to your body, your emotions, the outside world, and beginning to develop your personality, your preferences, expressing that, right? Saying, no, I like this, I don't like this, this feels good to me, etc. Right? So you're building on top of that, right? And that sacral chakra, as I said, happens, I guess, around like nearly a year old to maybe 2 years old, because remember the terrible twos, right? You really have to have watched my previous videos to get this. I really hope that you have watched them. If not, please go watch those videos so this all makes sense. And then you move on to the next chakra, right? Because these develop as we grow and develop in our human existence. So the next chakra is the solar plexus, and this develops when we're about a year and a half-ish to about 4 years old. Because remember, at around a year and a half, 2 years old, when that sacral chakra is being activated and developed, that's when we're beginning to say no. That's when we're beginning to say, I like this, I don't like this, right? We're beginning to exercise our will. So this is how it's tied into the solar plexus. This is why there's also overlap between the chakras, okay? So I don't want you to think that it's like strictly like, no, root chakra is from this age to this age, sacral is from this age to this age, because it all kind of begins overlapping, okay? Cool. Now that we got that out of the way, with your solar plexus being overreactive, okay, when it's overreactive, you can have a tendency to be very manipulative, okay? So if you recognize that you're manipulating people, and maybe you're not manipulating them for their harm, okay, but you're manipulating them to get something out of it, to benefit in some kind of way, okay? And you're not necessarily trying to do bad things, but you're still being manipulative. Okay, so when you recognize that you're being manipulative, that's a sign that your solar plexus chakra is overreactive. And you need to look at that and adjust that. And I say that from experience because there's no judgment. I really do my best to promote no judgment, right? If we have judgment, it's okay, but we got to heal that. We got to process that. But I do my best to have imbalances, and being manipulative was definitely one of them. My Wi-Fi connection, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to be very manipulative. And I wasn't manipulative in a bad way, you know, in a bad way, like trying to hurt people, trying to get something bad to happen to others. No, I was just manipulating them. And I used to tell myself this, like, I'm manipulating them for their own good. Like, I'm trying to help them out. I'm trying to help them see the light and do the things that I want them to do, right? So even when you feel like you're manipulating people for their own good, it's still manipulation. And you have to take a look at that, okay? That's why I say no judgment, because I've been there. I know what that's like. Even if you have the best intentions with your manipulation, it's still manipulation. So you need to have a look at that and see why you feel this deep need to manipulate others. Okay, when your solar plexus chakra is overreactive, you can also have this tendency to be very stressed out and obsessive with things. Because remember, solar plexus is all about exercising your will, taking action, doing things, right? Making decisions, self-discipline. So sometimes that can drive you to be obsessive with things and to feel like they have to be done in this way. It has to be done by this time. And when it's not working out the way that you want, when the details aren't there, then it causes you to be stressed out, right? I say this from experience because, again, I'm a poster child for all of these chakra imbalances. Oh, I've had to deal with all of them on some level, right? And so I used to get very, very annoyed at grammatical issues, like you have no idea. And every time I saw people misspell things or use the wrong form of something or whatever it was, like those minute details, I used to be so stressed out about them. Like, why can't they get it right? Like, how hard is this to learn to do? And it would cause me unnecessary stress. Like, was it really that serious? No. But back in the day, you know, with my solar plexus being all kinds of cray, I had this like obsessive, I don't know, attention to detail to things. So when you notice that, if these are the kinds of things that stress you out, you got to work on that solar plexus, okay? You got to let that go, because life does not have to be stressful. And that's not how life works. You know, there are going to be mistakes, there's going to be errors, whatever it is. And you just got to learn to flow with life, and you just got to learn to let it be all okay. It's that fine balance. So when you notice these things, there's an overreactive solar plexus situation happening that you have to take a closer look at, okay? So when your solar plexus is underactive, when it's a weak solar plexus, then that is when you are having challenges with facing challenges. You avoid facing the challenges. You kind of try to see your way out of them or not pay attention to them, avoid them. So when you aren't strong here in your solar plexus, because you have a weak solar plexus, then you can't exercise that will to face that challenge head on. You avoid it. You try to get out of it in some kind of way, okay? So it's an inability to face challenges. It's also, a weak solar plexus is also connected to not being able to take action on things or to take action on things, and that you're very passive about it. So you kind of just allow life to go and just flow, and you're just kind of complacent. You're not being very proactive in your life. You're just kind of rolling with it, right? And there's nothing necessarily wrong with having a laid back approach to life and flowing with life, but it's when you really just don't have a clear direction for life and you're just kind of letting whatever happen and you don't really care. You're just passive, just rolling down a stream. And, you know, the stream has many directions to take you in. Like it can, if you're going down a river or something and it separates in three, you're just kind of like the type that moves through life without any intentionality. So you don't know what direction to take. And you're just kind of like, whatever, it's all good. You know, again, I don't want you to think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, with flowing with life. You are meant to flow with life. And sometimes life will flow you in directions that maybe you didn't intend to go down in, but that were for your highest good. But what I'm talking about here is when you're moving through life without a direction, without intention. You're just complacent. You're just not having this ambition to really create anything, to do anything, to become your potential. So it's when you're in this kind of state that you have a weak solar plexus, okay? an underactive solar plexus that you need to shift, you need to work on, because you are here. Part of the reason that you're here is to be a deliberate, intentional creator. So when you're just kind of not really intentionally creating and you're just flowing, then you're not maybe, being able to move forward in the direction of your potential. I hope that made sense, okay? Because it's a fine line. And I know maybe some people are going to be like, yeah, but you're meant to flow with life. And yes, you are. You are meant to flow, and life won't always flow you in the direction that you want it to flow you in. But you're at least intentional. You know you want to go in a certain direction, and then the universe works it out for you to go down the path of least resistance that's for your highest good to get you to where you ultimately want to go. So in that case, of course, flow. Don't be so obsessive with the path and thinking it has to look this way, it has to be. No, flow with life, but have that intentionality behind it and allow life to carry you down the path that is going to get you to where you want to go to. But when you have no intentionality and you're just kind of like, whatever, no ambition, no desire to really create anything, do much of anything, you're just complacent, that is when you have a weak solar plexus chakra you need to look at. Let me know if this made sense in the comments below, because I really did my best to communicate that. Today's a fun day doing this video. Okay, so next, when your solar plexus chakra is underactive, quite oftentimes this will manifest as having low self-esteem. Okay, so it means you don't really have a good image of yourself. So you don't have that confidence. You don't see the value that you provide. You just have this low self-esteem and you see yourself in this negative light. Okay. An overreactive solar plexus can sometimes be when that person has too much ego and they think so high of themselves and they think that they're better than everyone and all this other stuff. Okay. So when it's overreactive, you got too much ego, you think you're better, you're arrogant. When it's underactive, you don't value yourself, you see yourself in this negative light, and all of the other stuff. Okay. When you have an underactive solar plexus, this will often manifest in you feeling like you have no purpose, no clarity, no direction. Again, this is very much connected to the lack of complacency, kind of flowing with life, no ambition. But when you aren't strong in this energetic center here, your solar plexus, you're not able to really have that willpower required to sit down and get to business and get clear on that next step, on what you're here to do, and moving forward in that direction of it and making it happen. So when you have a weak solar plexus, it can manifest as this lack of clarity, this direction, this purpose. And, being a spiritual entrepreneur and having worked with people over the last few years, a lot of times people come to me feeling like it's hard for them to find their purpose. They have no clarity. They don't know what direction to move in. And quite often, this is because people are afraid of their own personal power. Because when you really start getting clear on your purpose, on what direction you want to take your life in, on what path you need to take, when you really have that clarity at last, then you have no excuse to move forward. You have to move forward with these things because you already know, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing, right? It's easy to kind of remain where you have been when you don't know where you're meant to go. Because you can use the excuse of, I don't know where to go, so I'm just going to stay here and it's all good, right? But when you do know, then you have to move forward. And people oftentimes are afraid of moving forward because then they would have to step into their power to make things happen, right? And to do their part to make things happen. And so this oftentimes is a major tendency that I see in people with not wanting to strengthen that solar plexus, not wanting to step into that level of personal power and continuing to remain in this state of limbo, not knowing what to do next, where to go, what to create, because they're afraid of their own true power. Because if they really owned it, then they would get this information, this clarity, this direction, this purpose, and then they would have to move forward. And a lot of times unconsciously, they would just rather remain where they're at because they're afraid of moving forward and what that entails as they move forward, right? So this is something that I see a lot of times. And with that being said, this will often ripple out into feeling indecisive and having trouble making decisions, right? I see people all the time come to me feeling like they can't pick a purpose, they can't pick something that they're meant to be doing, or they can't get started, they don't know what the right thing to do is, and that's because they have a weak solar plexus. Sometimes the best thing to do in those situations is just to start with whatever you feel called to do and just take action on that and allow the process to unfold, and you will figure it out as you go, but just get started. But some people get caught up in the indecisiveness. I don't know what to do. And just all these questions and stuff. So when you are feeling indecisive, that's because you're not really in the strong, you don't really have a strong solar plexus that helps you to be strong and confident in your ability to make these decisions and to move forward with them and to see them through. Okay, so you need to strengthen that solar plexus chakra to let go of that indecisiveness to show up more powerfully in life. And I say this from experience because I used to be very indecisive as well, especially because as an ex-perfectionist, that's what I'm gonna start saying to myself now, to let go of that identity. But as an ex-perfectionist, you know, I wanted everything to be perfect and I was afraid of making mistakes and all of this other stuff. And it was hard for me to move forward. It was hard for me to put things out there in regards to my business in the beginning. But as I healed, as I did my inner work around these things, and I released the things that were impacting my solar plexus and keeping me from really being in my power, as I healed those things and I came more into my power, I was able to be like, okay, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing. I'm moving forward. It doesn't matter if it doesn't succeed or whatever it is. I'm moving forward in this direction. And I became more assertive and I just got things done. And I was able to progress in life much more easily. Right. And especially if you want to create a really successful business, if you want to create your dream life, like you have to have a strong solar plexus because you have to be in your power to create that. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in indecision and you're never going to move anywhere because you're always going back and forth, or side to side like a crab. You're going side to side like a crab instead of moving forward. So that's another way it can manifest. This has been a really fun video today. I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know, I'm in a really good mood, people. In a really good mood. Thumbs up this video if you enjoy me being in a good mood, because I am enjoying it. All right. Another way that a weak solar plexus can manifest is in the form of being irresponsible. So if you know people that are irresponsible, they're not really taking personal responsibility over their lives, over their children, over their businesses, over their states, whatever's going on in their lives. If they are not assuming that responsibility, or they're just being irresponsible with their choices, they're making choices that aren't really for their highest good and they just don't really care, then this is oftentimes a sign of a weak solar plexus, okay? Now, some physical imbalances that you can experience with the weak solar plexus chakra is you can have digestive issues because, again, remember the solar plexus is located here just above our navel. It's like around our, I don't know, below our rib cage, navel area. I don't know the anatomy, but right there. And so this center, right, because these chakras, these energy centers are very much directly connected to the organs that surround them. Because it's here located in our core where our digestion happens, you can experience digestive issues when you have an imbalanced solar plexus, okay? So this can develop in the form of IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, hypoglycemia, diabetes, trouble with your metabolism, trouble digesting. So if you have issues with that, then chances are that you have an imbalanced solar plexus that you need to work on in order to improve your digestive issues. Now, diabetes, for example, is not just connected to your solar plexus. Diabetes can also be connected to your sacral chakra because diabetes is usually connected to not having enough joy in your life, not really being able to experience the sweetness of life. Because again, diabetes, sugar, sweetness, enjoying life. So it can be connected to your sacral because sacral is the center where you have your emotions, where you experience pleasure, that kind of stuff. So, but because it's connected to your digestion as well, this is a sign that it's either connected to your solar plexus, your sacral, maybe a combination of both, or other parts of your body, because you can't exactly pinpoint every single thing. Like as a healer, I can see how people's traumas and things are interconnected in many different chakras a lot of times, and how I personally help them clear that up. Because a lot of times with healing and clearing these centers, people think like you just have to work on that one chakra. You just have to work on that thing. And that's not what I teach. That's not how I work. I help people get to the trauma, the root cause, whatever it is, and I help them to release that, to heal from that. And then it naturally ripples out in creating more balance in all the chakras, right? Simultaneously, instead of thinking that you have to do just this one chakra here and work on this one chakra and so on. Maybe I'll explain this more in other videos around healing chakras. We'll see how my spirit guides guide me with this stuff. But if you want that video, like, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see if the spirit guides give me the green light for that, because I teach according to what I'm guided to a lot of times. But I do take your comments into consideration. I will let you know this, okay? So that is how it can manifest, okay, is digestive issues with your metabolism. And because it's connected to your digestion and metabolism, this can also result in excess weight. So you might have some weight issues, either in the form of excess weight or maybe in underweight. Maybe if you're not gaining weight, then this could be a connection that you, to your solar plexus, that you might have to take a closer look at. It can also manifest in the form of fatigue, because your solar plexus connected to your digestive area, that is the part that we use a lot of energy for, to break down our food. And when we break down that food, those nutrients are meant to go out to the rest of our body to give us energy. So when we're having these fatigue issues, quite oftentimes it's because there's something going on with our solar plexus that we need to take a closer look at. Okay. It can also manifest in the form of eating disorders. And so I mentioned this in regards to sacral chakras stuff in my last video, because when you have sacral chakra imbalances, you're having trouble dealing with your emotions. This can oftentimes cause you to overeat or undereat, have these eating disorders to cope with your emotions. Now, with your solar plexus chakra, however, this is oftentimes a way to exercise your control. And it's connected, I feel, to your root chakra. So if your root chakra, your center of sense of safety, is out of balance, to kind of counteract that lack of safety that you feel inside of yourself, you might have an overactive solar plexus chakra that causes you to be very controlling in order to try to feel safe. It's kind of like with the bully situation that I mentioned earlier. So you will maybe have eating disorders, and you will eat super clean and super strictly, super healthy, or you might binge eat. You'll have these eating disorders, but that's you trying to exercise your control to feel safe, right? So they're like interconnected, but that's how the reason why the solar plexus chakra is connected to eating disorders in this sense, okay? It's a little bit different. It's to exercise your control. So that is how it can manifest, okay? Other ways in which it can manifest in the physical are having, liver issues, gallbladder, pancreas issues, because these are like the organs that are around there somewhere. So this is how, if you have issues with any of these organs, then you might have some solar plexus chakra imbalances you have to take a closer look at. So that is basically it for today's video. Again, your solar plexus is your center for your ability to exercise your power of choice, that you get to choose what you want with your life. And it's definitely a chakra that we have to do our best to be mindful of, to keep in balance, because sometimes it can be very easy to be on one extreme. Especially for me, I can have the tendency to be in the extreme of being overactive and exercising my willpower and deciding I'm a warrior and I'm going to get this done. I'm going to make this happen and nobody's going to stop me and I'm sick of this. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, okay? Sometimes maybe that's what you need in the moment. But when we are too much on one end of the spectrum or the other, then we have imbalances in our lives naturally, because we manifest that. So it's really important to be mindful to try to keep that balance as much as we can, as often as we can, and to choose wisely. This is our life. We get to create what we want with our lives, but we have to choose what we want to create with our lives. And so you decide if you want to keep going down certain patterns or if you want to break free from them. You decide if you want to reach your potential or if you just want to be complacent. You decide if you're ready to face those challenges and be this empowered version of yourself, or if you're going to keep running away from them. You always have this choice. And that's what the solar plexus is really all about, is about you intentionally and deliberately choosing what you want in life, what you want to create, who you want to be, because this is the center that is responsible for our sense of identity, what we believe about ourselves, right? So you get to decide this. Okay. And yeah, that's basically it. So you get to choose. You're always able to choose. This is your life, but you got to make better choices if that's what you feel called to make at this time. Okay. So I really hope that this has helped you so much. I tried out a structure today for today's video to not kind of go all around the place like I normally do. Let me know if you enjoyed this structure in the comments below, because I felt like it really flowed and it was easier because I was able to like go through all the points one by one. So let me know if you enjoyed the structure so I can be sure to include that in the other videos. And let me know how this video resonated with you today, what you got out of it, what you learned today, what questions you have in the comments below, because I really love hearing from you guys, and that does help me to see how I can support you. Maybe I can answer you directly right away. While maybe you wait for a video from me, I can just answer you right away. And definitely give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Hit that bell button and change your settings to see all notifications so you never miss out on a video teaching of mine, because if you don't do that, then you will potentially miss out on the other video teachings that I'm going to be doing. And if you know of someone who could benefit from learning this information, be sure to share this video out with them. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel for these chakras teachings that I'm doing. So we'll be up here in the cards somewhere for you to click on. You can just go through my channel and find the playlist for that and learn about these different topics. And if you want to know what other deep healing you might need to do to move your life forward, then I definitely encourage you to download my 101 Ways to Know You Need Healing Work checklist. And I will include that in the comment section of this video. It will be pinned to the top of the comments after I finish this video, and you can go ahead and download that for free and access that checklist to see the different behaviors, beliefs, thought patterns, reactions that you might have that are potentially highly indicative that you have healing work that you have to do in order to bring your life into balance and create more of what you want in life. So I definitely suggest that you go ahead and sign up for that. And if you want support in being able to do very deep levels of healing work, because you're truly ready to get your life on track and you're truly ready to move yourself in the direction that you desire in your destiny, in your journey, okay? I welcome you to come and join me in my Remembering Who You Are program. And this is my signature program to really help you to do very, very deep levels of healing, unlike any other healing that you've done. The work that I do in my program really gives people absolutely life-changing transformation and results. And I've had people tell me how the things that I teach them in this program have helped them to heal from things that other professionals in the mental and emotional fields or spaces have not been able to do. So it's really that powerful. And it's a very deep spiritual healing program that really helps you to release all of those limiting beliefs, the fears, the traumas, the things, to really help you to step into your power, to let those things go, be more of who you truly are, and to move throughout life knowing you can create the life that you desire. You are not here helpless or a victim at all. You can be a powerful, deliberate creator, and you can bring all of these areas of your life that you desire into alignment. You can create those harmonious relationships, that greater abundance or more finances, increase in finances. You can create that better health. You can create that better internal well-being. Whatever it is that you want, you can create it. And that's what Remembering Who You Are teaches you to do. So this program in the past was 8 weeks long, but for this round of it, as of this time, January 2020, I was asked to extend it to 12 weeks to add additional information to this program that is going to be absolutely relevant and super important for all of us as we move forward through time and space and go through the years, because there's going to be so many changes happening in the world, and people really need to be in their power to handle those changes that are to come and to deepen their spiritual connection. So that's what I'm going to be adding to the program this time around. So it's 12 weeks long now. So if that speaks to you, reach out to me, find me on social media. Again, my links are in the description of this video. You can find me and message me on Instagram, on Facebook to know more information about this, to learn about payment plans. But yeah, I'm just really happy to do this program. I'm really excited about the people I'm going to be helping there and how it's going to radically change their lives. I also have testimonials of past clients who took this program. So I will link that up here somewhere in the comments or the cards for you to check out and see those interviews as well to see how it can change your life. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you. I will see you in the next video tomorrow on the heart chakra. All right, guys, take care. Bye.